Welcome and good morning, and welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. We hope that you're enjoying the experience. Hopefully, each of you are walking away each week with a couple good ideas to make your business, your production, income, and life better than it was in the past. If you've been watching each week, you'll notice that we try to give you something that you can take and implement from our message. A lot of you tell us that you watch the messages 3 or 4 times during the week. Even better yet, keep listening, keep watching, keep learning. At the Superstar Retreat, if you were there, you'll recall that on day 1, I asked everybody to do the following. I said, I want you to write down these 5 sets of numbers. And here's what they were. I said, write down the number 25 plus closed transactions. Then I want you to write down the number 50 plus closed transactions. Then write down the number 75 plus closed transactions. Then it got a little bit stronger. Write down 100 to 150 plus closed transactions. And the last category was 150 plus closed transactions. Now, what I then did was I stopped and I said, I want everybody to look at those numbers. And I want you to circle the number of transactions you'd like to complete in the next 18 months. How many would you like to complete? We have the balance of this year, 2015. We have 2016 in front of us. Do you want to complete that number in the next 6 months? Do you want to do it in the next 12 months? In the next 18 months? But I gave each of the attendees the option, and then I asked them all to circle one. And then I said to the audience, if we had an average commission of, say, $8,000. Now, you're going to say, well, Mike, I live in this town, and it's $4,300. And some of you will say, I live in that town, and it's $19,000. Okay. Whatever your average commission is, it is. But if we just took an average of $8,000, then I said, now write down these numbers. At 25 plus closed, that is $200,000 in revenue. In many, many towns in North America, $200,000 in closed revenues for you as an agent is a really big income. 50 plus closed is $400,000 in gross revenues. 75 to 100, it's $600,000 to $800,000 in closed revenue. That's a lot of money. Now we're talking about being maybe the highest paid person in the town you live in. 100 to 150 closed, $800,000 to $1.2 million in revenue, and 150 plus closed is virtually 1.6 million plus in income. So then I said, pick now one of those financial numbers and circle it, and let's see if where your mind goes, let's see where your mind goes with these numbers. Okay, can you commit to earning something like this? Can you imagine earning something like this? Is it within the realm of reason for you to have that kind of income? But then I did what I thought was probably critical for the whole audience and all the attendees. I said, okay, each of us is going to end up somewhere for transactions and income. And unfortunately, too often, we don't end up where we wanted to be, or we didn't have a plan to get there, or we didn't have a goal or objective, we didn't have a number or an income number we were shooting for. So therefore, we just kind of ended up wherever we end up, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it's certainly very common. So I said to the audience, there's 4 words that if you think about these 4 words, they can make all the difference to you in achieving those particular numbers. Now, if any of you sat through the tour that I did in April and May, I talked about these 4 words a lot. And the 4 words were mindset, skills, activities, and then actions. Mindset, what is going on in your head at a given moment? For example, if you look at these numbers and these income levels, what is your mindset? Is your mindset saying, I could never do that? It's impossible. Why does he bring it up? That's ridiculous. Or is your mindset saying, wow, this is exciting. This is something I can accomplish. This is something I can do. Gosh, when can I get started? Is your mindset positive or negative? Because in everything in life, it's always positive or negative. We're either very positive and excited, or we're negative and unexcited, maybe even depressed about a person, a thing, a situation, a circumstance. So we have to control that mindset to control the results. The second word was the word skills. How sound are your skills? How strong are your skills? Are your skills good enough to put you up against other good agents in town? Be competitive, get listing contracts signed because of your skills. Are you walking out of a listing feeling good about the fact that you had the skill set to get the seller to sign a contract with you at the price that you wanted and at the commission that you deserve and earn? Or are you hesitant to go on a listing because your skills aren't as good as they should be? How much time are you spending working on your skills? How much time are you spending studying the Mike Ferry sales system, the sales process, and incorporating those skills into who you are? The third word, of course, was the word activities. What kind of activities are you involved in? On the tour, I talked about the fact that, you show up at the office 9:30, and you say to your best friend, hey, Martha, have you had coffee yet? Let's go to Starbucks. We run to Starbucks. Of course, we get a cup of coffee. We sit and talk. We chat to what's going on, what's happening. And now it's 10:30, 20 to 11. We go back to the office. We have to check our emails, of course. We look at all of our emails. Then we go on and check Facebook to see what did Mary Lou wear to the party last Friday night, because we always have to check that. Now it's 11:45. Well, let's see, almost time for lunch. No sense in doing any prospecting. Go to lunch at 12 o'clock, come back at 1:15. We're a little full, ate too much, better check my emails again. What kind of activities are those in terms of production? If you had a real job with those activities, would you get fired? The answer is yes, unless, of course, you work for the government. But see, in a real job, the activities create the results. Are you involved in the activities, the prospecting, the lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, setting appointments, going on appointments, preparing for appointments? These are the activities that bring production. And the fourth word was the word action. Are you taking action every day? Every day, are you doing something to go out and produce, create income, create listings and sales, get you closer to the goal you set? The more actions you take, the more the flow begins, the more the momentum works in your favor, the stronger the habits become, and of course, productivity always follows. But then I asked the audience a great question. I said, okay, which of these is the biggest challenge for you and why? Okay? And I asked them all to write out the answer. Of those four words, mindset, skills, activities, or action, really, which one is the hardest one for you? Write that one down and honestly say, why is that so difficult for me? And if it's a lack of training, it's here for you through Mike Ferry TV, through our seminars, our workshops, our retreats, obviously through the coaching we do. By the way, are you coming to Florida in October to the Superstar Retreat? Because if you didn't make the one in July in Las Vegas, believe me, you missed something great, and you should be at the one in October. But then the last thing I said before the break on day one of the retreat was this, okay? Everybody is good at something. Everybody is good at something. Now, it doesn't mean it's productive in work. It doesn't mean it's productive in life. But everybody is good at something. Maybe you're really good at getting started. Maybe you're really good at finishing. Maybe you're good at thinking of new ideas. Maybe you're really good at conversation. Maybe you're good at building rapport with people around you. Maybe you're good because you have a sense of humor, okay? Well, which of these four words are you really good at, and are you taking advantage of them and using them to build your business? See, I believe that every one of you could build a much larger business if you wanted to. Question is, do you want to? If you do, you're watching the right message, you're watching it with the right speaker, and now we just need to get you to take it a step further. Talk to you next week.